Rowoon and Park Eun-bin's wedding live. Could anyone have expected such a dazzling moment to take an even more dramatic turn? Just as the couple exchanged their vows in front of a spellbound audience, all eyes suddenly shifted to Lee Minho. His shocking reaction at the reception stunned the entire crowd, leaving whispers, gasps, and endless speculation in its wake. What exactly happened in that unforgettable instant? Let's uncover the full story together. Only with red carpet revealed. It was the wedding that millions had been waiting for. A union that felt like the perfect ending to a love story that had charmed fans across the globe. Rowoon, the tall, graceful actor whose every movement seemed sculpted for the screen, and Park Eun-bin, the beloved actress with a radiant smile and timeless elegance, were finally saying their vows in front of a live audience. The event was nothing short of breathtaking. Broadcast live to fans in every corner of the world. A spectacle of romance, luxury, sheer star power. But amid the sparkling lights, the shimmering gown, and the applause that thundered like a tidal wave, one moment eclipsed them all: Lee Minho's reaction. And it was that reaction that stunned everyone, transforming what was already a legendary wedding into one of the most unforgettable nights in K-entertainment history. From the very beginning, anticipation had filled the air like a heavy perfume. The venue was decorated in cascading white roses, golden chandeliers, and velvet drapes that gave the ceremony the feeling of a royal ball. A string quartet played soft melodies while guests, icons of the industry, singers, actors, directors, took their seats, whispering with the kind of excitement usually reserved for award shows. Cameras flashed relentlessly, capturing every second, knowing that this was a once-in-a-generation event. For fans, it was more than a wedding, it was a fairy tale unfolding in real time. A love story they had rooted for since Rowoon and Eun-bin first appeared together on screen. Their story had been one of chemistry and whispers. Years of working side by side in dramas had made them an inseparable pairing in the eyes of fans. They shared laughter in interviews, stolen glances at press conferences, undeniable ease in each other's presence. Though both denied rumors of romance, the evidence had piled up in the hearts of those who watched them. Tonight, with the bride in white and the groom waiting nervously at the altar, those whispers became reality. Park Eun-bin entered the hall like a vision. The audience gasped audibly as she walked slowly down the aisle, the train of her gown shimmering under the golden light, every step delicate yet powerful. Rowoon's eyes glistened as he watched her approach, his lips pressed tightly as though holding back tears. When she finally reached him, he took her hand with a tenderness that no script could replicate, and the crowd erupted into applause that rolled like thunder. The ceremony began, filled with warmth, laughter, and heartfelt words. Vows were exchanged, hands trembled with emotion, and the world seemed to collectively hold its breath. Fans watching live streamed their joy in comments flying across the screen, some crying, some screaming, all united in celebration of the couple they had adored for so long. The officiator's voice trembled as he declared them husband and wife, and the moment felt frozen in perfection. And yet, perfection has a way of drawing out the unexpected. As applause echoed and Rowoon leaned in to kiss his bride, the cameras, searching for reactions, landed on one guest in particular. Lee Minho, one of Korea's most iconic stars, sat among the glittering crowd. His face, usually so composed, told a story that words could not. At first, it was subtle, his eyes widening, his lips parting slightly as though he had forgotten how to breathe. Then, as the kiss sealed the vows, a wave of emotion passed across his face, so raw and unguarded that it stunned not only the guests around him but also the millions watching live. The atmosphere shifted in an instant. The crowd, once roaring with applause, seemed to falter, eyes darting between the happy couple and the unexpected storm of emotion on Lee Minho's face. Whispers spread like wildfire through the hall. What had caused such a reaction? Was it shock, joy, regret, or something deeper? Yuna, seated not far from him, forward as though to catch his expression more closely, her own brows furrowed in confusion. The director of the live broadcast, sensing drama, the camera on him for several long, tense seconds. That decision would change everything. Social media exploded in real time. Clips of Lee Minho's reaction circulated within minutes. Screenshots dissected with forensic precision. Did he look like that? Fans demanded. The story between him, Rowoon, and Eun-bin Hashtags trended instantly. Lee Minho reaction. Rowoon Ben wedding. King moment live. The frenzy overshadowed even the vows themselves. Countless fans replaying the few seconds of his stunned face more than the actual kiss of the newlyweds. Back in the venue, the tension was palpable. Guests exchanged looks. The host fumbled for words, and even Rowoon, side of the reaction, hesitated for the briefest moment before regaining composure. Ben, too, glanced toward the audience, and smile faltering as though she too sensed the shift. The couple pressed forward, continuing with the ceremony. But the magic had been pierced by the undercurrent of drama. The reception began. Speculation reached fever pitch. Guests whispered in corners. Journalists typed furiously. And fans outside the venue screamed questions into the night. Inside, Lee Minho sat quietly, avoiding the barrage of glances thrown his way. But it was too late. The world had already seen. And no explanation could erase what millions had witnessed. Shocking reaction had turned an enchanting wedding into a story laced with mystery. A narrative far larger than the carefully planned fairy tale. Night pressed on. The bride and groom radiant, filled with celebration. Yet every toast, every laugh, carried the shadow of that single moment. The cameras lingered on Lee Minho more often than the couple, and the whispers refused to die down. Fans online demanded answers, dissecting every past interaction between the three stars. Theories that spread like wildfire. And as the final dance of the night began, the spotlight swung once more to Lee Minho. He stood, raising his glass in a toast, glistening with an emotion no one could fully read. The crowd fell silent, waiting for words that never came. Simply lifted his drink, nodded, and sat back down, leaving the world suspended in confusion. The fairy tale wedding had become something far more complicated. And as the cameras cut away, the night closed with a question hanging heavy in the air. What truth lay behind Lee Minho's shocking reaction? By morning, the wedding was no longer just a wedding. Cultural earthquake. The moment Rowoon and Park Eun-bin exchanged vows should have been the headline. Instead, it was Lee Minho's face, captured in a split second of raw emotion, that dominated every front page, every trending feed, every conversation. What was supposed to be remembered as a storybook romance was now entangled in mystery, speculation, and a frenzy that refused to subside. Fans replayed the clip endlessly, analyzing every detail as though it contained the secrets of the universe. Some swore he had tears in his eyes, proof of a hidden connection. Others claimed it was merely surprise, exaggerated by the pressure of live broadcast. But the most persistent theory was also the most dramatic, that Lee Minho's reaction revealed unspoken feelings for one of the newlyweds. Whether those feelings were tied to Park Eun-bin, he had shared a quiet friendship, or to Rowoon, a younger actor he had mentored in private, no one knew. But the mere suggestion was enough to set the internet ablaze. Media outlets seized the storm with ravenous delight. Articles poured out by the hour. Was Lee Minho in love? The truth behind the reaction. Did he steal the spotlight? Editorials debated the meaning of silence, the ethics of turning a private moment into public spectacle. Shows invited body language experts to analyze the clip, slowing it down frame by frame, pointing to every blink, twitch of his lips, as evidence of something larger. Meanwhile, Rowoon and Eun-bin, though radiant in their newlywed glow, could not escape the shadow cast over their perfect day. Their first public appearance after the wedding. Reporters bombarded them with questions not about their honeymoon or their future together, but about Lee Minho. Rowoon, his smile steady but tight. Diplomatically, it was an emotional night for everyone. Eun-bin added softly, weddings bring out many feelings. Just grateful for the love we've received. Their words were calm. Fans read between the lines, hungry for meaning. Behind the scenes, those closest to the stars offered glimpses into the truth. One stylist whispered that Lee Minho had seemed distant even before the ceremony, lost in thought. Another claimed he had been drinking quietly, glass never empty. Yet others insisted his toast at the reception was heartfelt, of genuine support rather than scandal. The contradictory accounts only deepened the mystery, leaving fans and media grasping for answers that refused to surface. As weeks passed, the frenzy did not fade. Hashtags continued to trend. Fan-made videos racked up millions of views, and even international outlets reported on the phenomenon. For many, The wedding had transcended reality, it had become a drama in itself. With characters, plot twists, hangers more gripping than any scripted series. Fairy tale had been rewritten as a saga of love, loss, and unspoken truths. Yet amid the chaos, one undeniable truth emerged: the moment had humanized Lee Minho in a way no interview ever could. For years, he had been the epitome of poise. Star who seemed untouchable, unshakable. But that night, with the world watching, his guard had slipped. Whether it was regret, longing, or simple overwhelm, it was real. And in a world of polished images and rehearsed smiles, reality was the most shocking revelation of all. The couple's love story reclaimed its place in the spotlight. Rowoon and Eunbin continued their journey together, bond unbroken by the frenzy. But the legend of that night endured. Fans would forever remember not just the vows, the kiss, the gown, or the music. The silence that followed one man's shocking reaction became a piece of entertainment history. A reminder that even in fairy tales, there are shadows. And that sometimes it is the unexpected moments that etch themselves most deeply into memory. As for Lee Minho, he never fully explained. In interviews, when asked about that night, he smiled faintly. His answer always the same: it was a beautiful wedding. Behind that smile, the world still wondered, still replayed, still speculated. Perhaps the truth was too personal, too raw to share. Or perhaps, as fans whispered in forums and tweets, the mystery itself was the answer. And so, the wedding of Rowoon and Park Eunbin will forever live in memory, not just as a celebration of love, but as a night of shock, drama, and unanswered questions. A night when the spotlight shifted. One reaction turned a perfect fairy tale into a story that will be told again and again. Because sometimes, what we remember most is not the perfection of the moment, the flaw, the crack, the truth that slipped through. In the end, one word echoed across the globe: shocking. And one face, captured in the glare of a camera: that this wedding would never be forgotten. In the end, Rowoon and Park Eunbin's wedding will be remembered as a fairy tale brought to life, a celebration of love, destiny, and the magic of two stars uniting under the spotlight. What made this night unforgettable was not only the vows exchanged or the breathtaking beauty of the ceremony. It was the shock, the mystery, raw humanity revealed in Lee Minho's reaction. That single moment turned a perfect love story into a legend. A reminder that even in the world of polished glamour, truth can break through in the most unexpected ways. History will remember this wedding not just for its grandeur, but for the gasp that swept across the hall, frenzy that ignited worldwide, and the unanswered questions that still linger. Sometimes, it is not the perfection of the fairy tale that captivates us. It was the emotions and the unpredictability that make it real. To our readers, thank you for joining us on this unforgettable journey. At Red Carpet Revealed, that behind every dazzling moment lies a deeper story, one filled with laughter, tears, shock, and truth. Passion, your curiosity, and your dedication to uncovering the real behind the real is what makes these stories come alive. We are deeply grateful for your trust and for allowing us to share not just headlines, but the hidden emotions that shape them. Stay with us. As this wedding proved, the most shocking moments often happen when no one expects them. Thank you, from the bottom of our hearts, for being part of this story.